In this video, I'm going to show you the settings that I change when I install Windows. The first setting I'm going to change or modify is Windows Update. So what you're going to want to do is using the Microsoft Store. So what you want to do is search up for Wind Toys. You'll see it right there. I already have it installed, but just you want to install it, and then you want to open it. By the way, if there's a user account control, then click on yes for the user account control. If you're using a computer that is not owned by you, then you cannot do any of the stuff that I'm showing you now. So what you want to go ahead and do is go to tweaks, or go to health, sorry, not tweaks. And then you want to do system updates. You want to make it security. And then just check, and then just like refresh or check for updates to just make sure that it's set up correctly. And you can see that, as you can see, I'm up to date right now. And also, I would also recommend, the second setting is related to Microsoft accounts. I would recommend you to use a local account. Don't do what I did right now, right there, and use a Microsoft account. Use a local account if you can. If you use OneDrive like I do, if you send to OneDrive, then you're automatically going to be signing in with a Microsoft account with that. What you want to do if that's the case, you want to go to accounts, other users, and then just add another user, and then just like say that you don't have the sign information for that person, which is right here, which I'll do right here. And then you can just click on add a user without a Microsoft account, and then you can like, you're gonna like name it and all that. I'm not gonna do it. That's just to show you what to do in case you want to do that. But so the first, and then the third, and then like the third setting I would try to change, or I would change, is going to be user telemetry, or telemetry on Windows itself. So what you want to do is go to services right here, click on enter. When thing, you want to go down to, go all the way down to where it says connected user experiences and telemetry. You want to disable this. If you do, so basically what telemetry is it's the data that Windows collects for advertisements. So you want to make sure that this is disabled, and then you want to just make sure that, just check the dependencies just to make sure that it's nothing bad's gonna disable. And then you want to stop this service. Do not start it back up again if you don't want to get recommended ads. Click apply and OK. And then apply. And then what you want to do is go to settings again. And then in personalization, go to start. And then turn all of these off. All of these off. And then you can add your folder, and then you can add like what you want with the folders, but I'm not going to add anything because I want it to be like clean. And then in privacy and security, you want to turn off all of these. All of these things you want to turn off. And then also just turn off speech, inking, and typing personalization. You want to turn off. Diagnostics and feedback, you want to turn off. if you see sending required data, then you might have to edit the registry, but I don't. But honestly, it's probably important that you do send the required data. It's important too because like it tells you that it's important because it says like keep it secure, up to date, and working as expected. So it's Windows itself, but you don't have to. You can make it like you can turn it off like completely. And then I would just say feedback for feedback frequency. You want to do it never because that's an ad. That's technically an ad. And then in apps you want to remove all the stuff that is all the stuff that is bloatware. You want to get rid of the stuff that you don't want with the apps in the installed apps section. You want to get rid of everything that is like Microsoft, everything that you don't need, like everything that's like Microsoft or like Microsoft bloatware. You want to get rid of. And stuff that you don't use from Microsoft, you also want to get rid of as well. But if you use some of the stuff, then you should keep it. Oh, and by the way, you won't be able to remove Edge. That's just something that you can't get rid of. You can get rid of all the other stuff. You don't want to get rid of any of these redistributables because like these are required for apps to run. So if you're seeing a lot of these, don't get rid of them. These are really important. You can get rid of the other stuff, but these you got to keep for apps. To run certain apps, you want to keep those. And then that's pretty much it for like the apps. I didn't remove too much from the apps. And then you want to also make sure that in privacy and security that most of these are off. App permissions. Some of these are like most of these like important things are off. Like camera and microphone are obvious are pretty important for like if you intend to record things. If you intend to record videos, then yeah, it's pretty important. Those are pretty important. Notifications are also pretty important. I'd keep those on. I would not do account info access. I would turn that off because that's again like data. Contacts I would keep on if you use it. Call history, phone calls, calendar. I would keep most of these on, except I would take radio control access off, and app diagnostics I would definitely turn off because, again, telemetry. And then this is probably all you want to turn off about that with privacy and security. And now we're gonna move on to the group policy editor. So the settings I would change in here are I'd get rid of the recommended section entirely. And by the way, you will need to be on a enterprise device in order to do this, but there is a way you can do it with Windhawk. You can do it with Windhawk, but I'm not going to show you how to do it with Windhawk because I don't have it currently installed. I don't want to. You can do a lot of other stuff in here as well. And you also want to make sure you want to go back to WinToys. Click yes to the user account control. And want to go to tweaks, and then you want to turn off Bing search results, suggestions, account notifications, and hibernate you can turn on if you want. And you also want to put on in here in performance, you want to turn on the ultimate power plan, the ultimate performance power plan, and you want to disable the virtualization. You want to disable VBS, virtualization based security. You want to disable that. Well, if you want, I mean, it's recommended that you don't do this because it's for malware purposes. For malware purposes, you want to keep this. You want to turn it back on after like a gaming session. By the way, just don't just keep it off. Turn it back on after when you're done. And then you want to turn on network adapter onboard processor. That allows you to offload some network functions from your CPU to the network adapter itself. So you want to do it. You want to turn this on. And then background apps, you probably want to turn it off. You want to turn it off so that no apps can run in the background at all. Like when you're gaming and stuff like that. But if you use like recording software, then you probably want to have it on, like I am right now. So you probably want to have like, and then you can see all the services that you have in Windows. Like you can see all the services. You want to turn off some of them that are not useful. Like you want to turn off, like if you don't use Bluetooth, turn it off. If you don't use like the Xbox app, turn it off. But turn the Xbox stuff off. But if you use most of this stuff, then you wanna keep it on. But yeah, that's about it for all the settings that I would change when I install Windows once again. And I will see you all with the next video. Bye.
Yeah, we from the north, baby, the cold.